President Trump is beating Biden right now in the polls. He's stronger than he has ever been in this process. And look, I served with Ron DeSantis. He's not at the same level as President Trump by any shape or form. He would not have gotten elected without President Trump's endorsement.
That was Speaker McCarthy comparing Donald Trump and Governor DeSantis, not favorably, by the way. And look who's here now, the governor himself. Good morning, Governor. You heard the Speaker's comments. Would you like to respond? You're not on the same level as Trump. Respond to that, please.
Well, sure. I mean, I think, I ran 16 points better than Trump in Florida. I won the greatest victory that's ever been won by a Republican in the history of governor's races. We were supposed to have a red wave in 2022. That crashed and burned around the country. Florida, we did. We delivered them 4 additional Republican congressmen that was instrumental in getting them the bare majority that they have. And I'd also say, since Kevin's been in Congress, they've added trillions and trillions of dollars to the debt. Even when we had unified Republican government, since I've been governor of Florida, we've actually paid down almost 25% of our total state debt. We've won budget surpluses every year, and we have the top-rated economy in the entire United States. And so we've shown the ability to win big politically and also to deliver on our promises. And that's, I think, what Republican voters want. We always hear the rhetoric, and then the results usually don't follow. With me, everything I promised I'd do, I've delivered.
So are you on the side of the conservatives in the House who will possibly push the government into a shutdown?
Well, I think they're pushing for doing what they said they would do. I would argue the opposite, though. I think it's the people that want to continue the status quo that are in favor of shutdowns, because this excessive debt and spending has shut down the American dream for so many Americans. Homes are unaffordable, cars are unaffordable, even groceries now. That is a direct result of the behavior of Washington, D.C. over these last 4 or 5 years with ungodly amounts of debt that they have piled up. So continuing to go in this direction is saying that you want to continue to inflict the pain on the American people. I think they need to stop the spending, and I think they need to do it a better way.
Well, Trump is, 47 points ahead of you in the latest Fox News poll. Are you relying on Iowa and New Hampshire primaries to break through and catch up?
Well, of course, Stuart, that we don't have a national primary. I mean, if we had a national primary, we would have a different approach. It's a state-by-state process. You accumulate delegates. Iowa, New Hampshire will be the first opening salvos, and I can tell you, those are much different pictures on the ground there than what some of the national narrative is, and we're showing up in these places. I think you got to earn this thing. I don't think that we can just sit there and say someone's entitled to be nominated. You got to go answer questions. You got to go to these communities, and that's what we're going to be doing. And so we continue to gain support in the early states. We got a long way to go. We're going to work very, very hard, and ultimately, we're going to be able to offer somebody with a great record of doing what he said he would do, strong leadership, someone that can serve 2 terms, be ready to beat Biden, and then get the job done.
Governor, the billionaire GOP donor, Ken Griffin, he says he's sitting on the sidelines for this Republican primary. He's been one of your principal backers. Have you talked to him? Have you tried to talk him out of sitting on the sidelines?
No, I mean, I think there was a report said he didn't like that that we had stood up against Disney. But I can tell you, Stuart, I have 6, 5, and 3-year-old kids at home. The idea that we are going to allow a company to come in and try to wreak havoc on our education system, injecting transgender ideology in elementary school, negating parents' rights, that is non-negotiable for me. We will stand up for our kids. We will stand up for our parents. And yes, they're the granddaddy of them all when it comes to Florida politics. But I'm happy to stand in the way of that and push back. If we can't get the education right, if we can't agree as a society that it's wrong to tell a second grader that they can change genders, then this country is just not going to succeed. So I see our country in decline on a variety of fronts, including in education. We've reversed that decline in Florida, and yes, we've had to stand up to Disney to do it, but that was the right thing to do, and I stand by it 100%.
I understand, Governor, that you're planning to unveil your energy policy tomorrow. Could you give us a sneak preview? Is it, for example, going to be drill, baby, drill? Is that your energy policy?
So what it's going to do is we want to give people relief at the pump Gas is almost $4 a gallon nationally. In 2025, we're shooting for $2 a gallon. And that means you got to let people do their jobs. We need to embrace the resources that we have, both in terms of hydrocarbons, but also in terms of having an auto industry that makes sense. We're going to get rid of the EV mandates so that people can buy the cars they want. And we are going to do things that are going to benefit us in terms of national security. Biden's energy policy benefits China, Iran, Russia, and Venezuela. We are going to restore energy dominance. We're going to be so dominant that all those hostile regimes are going to have a disadvantage. And that's, I think, what the American people want.
Let's turn to the border for a moment. 2,000 migrants crossed yesterday alone. 7,500 crossed just on Sunday. My question is, Governor, can migrants work in Florida? Illegals, can they work in Florida? And if not, will you pursue any employer who uses them?
No, so we have a mandatory E-Verify in Florida. It's been very effective. We're happy to have people who are native Floridians, people that move from other states and even from other countries legally who come, and all those different people contribute to our economy being the top-rated economy amongst all 50 states. But illegal aliens coming is not something we've done, and so we're proud to have stood up for the rule of law. I think that that's what it should be. We got to come in there and clean house when it comes to the border. This is going to be a day one issue for me. We're going to declare it a national emergency. We're going to have military at the border. We are going to stop the invasion that's happening. I am going to build the border wall because I think that that'll be effective, but I'm the only candidate running that is willing to lean in against the Mexican drug cartels because they are ultimately responsible for the chaos that we see with the drugs and the sex trafficking and the human trafficking. That ends when I become president.
Governor, you've been with us for 6 minutes. We're very happy that you took 6 minutes out of a very busy day to be with us, and we really appreciate it. Governor DeSantis, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Please don't miss the second Republican primary debate, September 27th, right here on Fox Business.